0. The notification lit up my phone screen. 002. I was mid-laugh, blowing out the candles on my birthday cake. 004. Laughter filled the restaurant. Glasses clinked. 006. Friends toasted another trip around the sun. 008. But the second I saw his name, everything blurred. My name is Chrissy. I'm 39. And tonight, I received the coldest, most calculated breakup message in history. Hey, Chrissy, just wanted to be upfront. I found someone better. Younger, hotter, an upgrade. I moved our money into my personal account. Felt fair since I made most of it anyway. No hard feelings. Enjoy your birthday. 043. The breath caught in my throat. The words glowed on my screen like a neon sign spelling betrayal. But I didn't flinch. No gasps, no tears. If anyone noticed anything at the table, maybe it was the way I sat a little straighter, my smile sharpening like a blade. I typed back a single word. Congrats. No drama. No begging. Just silence and steel. Because here's what Nathan never understood. While he was playing games, I was taking notes. Nathan had always been cocky. At first, it came off as confidence. Charming, persuasive, always the guy with the big idea, even when it wasn't his. But the charm cracked. Late nights at work, when no one else was clocking overtime. His phone always face down. The eye rolls any time I brought up the future. And money. Suddenly Venmo delays, splitting bills he used to grab without blinking. And then the big red flag. Let's move our shared savings to an account under my name. It's just easier that way, he said with that dismissive little wave. Sure, babe. Whatever you say. That same day, I opened my own account. Quietly, strategically. I didn't wipe out the joint account, just peeled off my share bit by bit. Just enough to go unnoticed, enough to keep up appearances. So on my birthday, when he sent that message thinking he'd cleaned me out, I already knew the truth. He didn't take everything. He didn't even take half. An hour later, my phone buzzed again, this time from a mutual friend. Chrissy, I don't know how to say this, but Nathan just hard-launched his new girlfriend on Instagram. Captioned it, "The glow-up is real. Out with the old, in with the new. I'm furious for you." I clicked the link. There he was. Hotel suite, bathrobe, smug smile, arm around a girl who couldn't have been more than 22. Long legs, perfect. Hair. Melissa. That Melissa. The one he'd sworn was just a friend. The one he called immature and annoying. Now, she was his trophy, and the internet was eating it up. Okay, King, big upgrade. My guy went from economy to first class. Rip to the ex. She must be crying. But I wasn't crying. I was calculating. Nathan assumed I'd unravel, that I'd chase closure, spiral into heartbreak. But arrogant men always underestimate the women they burn. He forgot who signed the lease, who built the savings, whose credit cards he'd been living off. So I looked at those comments meant to humiliate me. And I smiled. Nathan made the first move, but I was about to make the last one. Countdown starts now. 3, 2, 1. When I got home, I changed the locks. Nathan never put his name on the lease. It had always been my apartment, my name, my rules. And now, he was out, permanently. Babe, why do all that paperwork? You're way better at that stuff than I am. Nathan had said when we moved in together. That laziness? It was about to cost him everything. When I called the landlord to have the locks changed, he didn't blink. You're the only one on the lease, Chrissy. You can do whatever you want. By midnight, Nathan no longer had a home to come back to. At 1 a.m., the first sign of reality sinking in came through a single text. Hey, super weird, but I think my key isn't working. Can you let me in? I let the message sit, read, but unanswered. 15 minutes later, another text. Chrissy? What's going on? I need to grab some of my stuff. Still, I said nothing. Because Nathan's stuff, the designer suits, overpriced sneakers, flashy watches he treated like fast food, was already packed into trash bags and neatly arranged in the hallway. When he tried to re-enter his old life, all he'd find was a locked door and his belongings staring back at him like strangers on the curb. And that was just the warm-up. At 8 a.m., I made the first official call of the day. Hi, I need to report fraudulent activity on my joint account. The customer service rep's tone was professional, measured. What kind of fraudulent activity, ma'am? I took a breath. Money was withdrawn without my permission. I have text message proof that my ex took the funds, maliciously. Would you be able to forward those messages to our fraud department? Of course, happy to. By 9:30 a.m., Nathan's precious personal bank account, the one he proudly transferred all our money into, was frozen. Pending investigation. Right on schedule, my phone buzzed. Chrissy, WTF did you do? My bank account is locked. I can't access anything. I took a slow sip of coffee before replying, Huh? Weird. Maybe you should call your bank. And he did. I can only imagine that call. The moment the bank explained that his account had been frozen due to a fraud complaint, that he wouldn't be touching a single cent until the matter was resolved, that the money he thought he'd stolen was now in financial purgatory. And Melissa? Her luxury vacation dreams were now circling the drain. Nathan had booked a convertible for their little getaway. Of course he had. I knew because I'd seen the confirmation email weeks ago on our shared iPad. And guess what credit card he used? Mine. He'd saved the details to the system, assuming I wouldn't notice. So at 10 a.m., I made call number 2. Hi, I need to report an unauthorized transaction on my credit card. By noon, the rental was canceled. Nathan and Melissa had no ride to their fantasy life. At 12:17 p.m., my phone rang. Nathan. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call, and another. On the 5th try, I picked up. You need to fix this, he snapped. My bank is frozen, the rental's canceled. My stuff's in trash bags outside the apartment. You've made your point, okay? I smiled, stirring my coffee. Oh, Nathan. I haven't even started. He was unraveling. I could hear it in his voice, feel it in his texts. But we weren't done. Nathan had also booked a 5-star oceanfront hotel suite, private balcony, luxury everything, a cherry on top of his upgrade life. But in his rush to play king, he overlooked the fine print. With his account frozen, those pending, hotel charges declined. At exactly 3 p.m., Nathan and Melissa arrived at the hotel, dressed for a dream vacation they couldn't afford. I wish I could have seen their faces when the front desk clerk informed them. I'm sorry, sir. Your payment was declined. We've had to release your reservation. Melissa must have been thrilled because 30 minutes later, an unknown number rang my phone. I answered with a cheery, Hello? A pause. Then Melissa. Chrissy, hey. Look, I know things are weird between us, but Melissa, how's that upgrade treating you? A sharp breath. I just need to know if there's anything we can do to fix this. Nah. Nathan said you froze his account. I laughed. Nathan said that? Did he also mention how he stole from me? Or how he left me on my birthday like a coward? Look, I didn't know. Oh, you just thought he was misunderstood? That I was the cold, unsupportive one? Silence. That told me everything I needed to know. Melissa was just now realizing she'd been played too. While they scrambled to figure out their next move, the internet was doing its thing. Nathan, the ever-confident social media addict, had posted about his new life way too early. The comments came in like wildfire. Damn, bro, flexed too early. Left your girl for an upgrade just to go broke in 24 hours? Karma came with express shipping. And then, the moment I was waiting for. At 4:45 p.m., my phone vibrated again. Nathan. I picked up. Chrissy, you need to stop this. His voice was low, trying hard to sound composed, failing. Stop what? You know what? My boss called me today. Oh? I faked concern. Why would he do that? Because apparently people at work saw my Instagram post. Now HR is involved. See, Nathan's company had a very strict non-fraternization policy. Melissa wasn't just some fling, she was a junior staff member. 1336. His firm, and now corporate, had questions. 1339. Nathan thought he was calling to scare me, to make me back off. He still didn't understand how completely he had already lost. So I decided to spell it out. Nathan, let's get something straight. I didn't do anything to you. You did this to yourself. You stole our money. You played yourself. You lost control the moment you underestimated me. 14-1. His breathing sharpened. I swear to God, Chrissy. No, Nathan. You don't swear to God. You swear to yourself that next time you won't be so stupid. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have plans. Enjoy your better life, if you can still afford it. And with that, I hung up. The calls kept coming. I never answered. Nathan was spiraling. Everything he had so confidently taken for himself was slipping through his fingers like sand. No money, no hotel, no car, no apartment. And now, no job security either. But Nathan? He wasn't the type to go down quietly. No, he was the kind of man who'd set himself on fire just to feel like he was still in control, which meant the next thing he did was his dumbest move yet. 9:00 a.m. The next morning, I woke to a knock at my door. Not a text, not a call, a knock. Through the peephole, a uniform. Chrissy Walker? The officer asked when I opened the door. I kept my face calm. Yes, that's me. Is there a problem? We received a report about stolen property. Your ex-boyfriend, Nathan Carter, claims you're unlawfully keeping items that belong to him. I almost laughed. Did he now? He specifically mentioned some designer watches, a laptop, and a few suits. I gestured to the hallway, where Nathan's trash-bagged belongings still sat untouched. Everything he left behind is right there. He's welcome to come get it himself. The officer glanced at the bags. So you haven't prevented him from accessing his property? Nope. But I have prevented him from accessing my apartment, my money, and my life. Is that a crime? The officer smirked. Not at all, ma'am. Sounds like a civil matter, not a criminal one. We'll be closing this complaint. Just like that, Nathan's pathetic attempt to sic law enforcement on me failed. Strike one. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. Another familiar number. Melissa. I considered ignoring it. Curiosity won. Hello? I answered, light and casual. Chrissy, I need to know the truth. Melissa's voice was tight with frustration. How much of this did you plan? Plan? I echoed, feigning confusion. What exactly are you accusing me of, Melissa? Oh, don't play. Dumb. Nathan's broke. His job's on the line. His accounts are frozen. And now he's crashing at my place like some homeless ex-frat boy. This isn't just bad luck. You did something. I smiled, swirling my coffee. Melissa, let me ask you something. Did Nathan ever tell you why he and I shared a bank account? Silence. Did he ever mention whose name is on the apartment lease? Or how he's been living off my credit cards for months? More silence. Then, softly, almost bitterly, No, he said. He said you owed him that money, that you were controlling, that you'd never let him have any independence. I laughed, short and sharp. So he convinced you that stealing from me was just him taking back control? Classic. Melissa exhaled sharply. God, I was such an idiot. I didn't argue, because yeah, she kind of was. The final nail in Nathan's coffin came 3 days later. His company officially fired him. Not just because of the workplace relationship scandal. though that was bad enough, but because HR had reviewed his expense reports. Turns out Nathan had been reimbursing himself for fake business dinners. He'd even expensed hotel stays, ones I hadn't even discovered yet. His arrogance wasn't just personal, it was professional suicide. And now? Now Nathan had nothing. The last time he ever contacted me was 1 week later. His name popped up on my screen. And for the first time, I answered. I wanted to hear it. "Chrissy," he began, voice hollow. "You? Why?" I said nothing. Let the silence stretch between us. Nathan sighed. I don't get it. You didn't even try to get back at me. You didn't scream. You didn't fight. You just let everything collapse around me. I took a breath and finally answered. "Nathan, you did this to yourself. I didn't have to fight you. I just had to watch you destroy yourself." Silence. Then quietly. "I messed up, huh?" I smiled. "Yeah, you did." Then I hung up, blocked his number, never looked back. Nathan was gone, blocked, erased, a ghost in my past. And yet, the ripples of his destruction kept spreading. Not that I cared, I'd already moved on. But Nathan? Nathan was learning the hard way that when you build your life on lies and arrogance, there's nothing left when it all crumbles. It didn't take long for word to spread. His old friends turned on him faster than he could say, "Upgrade." His co-workers? They'd already seen the warning signs. And his family? Well, that got interesting. One afternoon, I got a text from an unexpected number. Linda, Nathan's mother. I hesitated, then opened it. Linda, "Chrissy, I know you don't owe me anything, but can we talk?" I stared at the message for a moment, then typed back. Me. "Depends. Are you about to blame me for a lesson in letting go?" Her reply came at 8:19 p.m. Linda, I need to know the truth. He won't tell me anything, and all I hear are pieces of the story from other people. That was the moment I knew Nathan's charm had finally run out. If his own mother had stopped defending him, then reality had caught up. I agreed to meet her for coffee, not for Nathan's sake. I didn't care about him anymore, but I was curious. I wanted to see the wreckage he'd made of his own life. When I walked into the cafe, Linda looked like she'd aged 5 years in just a few weeks. Exhausted, hollowed out. "Thank you for meeting me," she said, stirring her tea absent-mindedly. I need to understand how this happened." I shrugged. "Your son overplayed his hand. He thought he was untouchable. Smarter than me." She let out a tired sigh. "He told us you were controlling, that you tried to ruin him." I laughed, shaking my head. "Tell me, Linda, what does controlling mean to Nathan? Because from what I saw, it just means I wouldn't let him get away with everything." She didn't argue. In fact, she looked guilty. "We spoiled him," she admitted. "Every time he messed up, we bailed him out. His father and I thought we were helping, but all we did was teach him that he'd never face real consequences." I sipped my coffee and let the silence do its work. Then came the real question. "Chrissy, is there any way back for him?" I thought for a moment, then gave her the only honest answer I had. "Not until he realizes that he is the problem." She didn't protest. She already knew the answer. Over the next few months, I heard snippets. Nathan had moved back. In with his parents, on their terms this time. No handouts, no reckless spending. And definitely no more girlfriends using him like a stepping stone. Funny enough, Melissa dumped him a week after our last conversation. Turns out being the upgrade isn't so glamorous when the money disappears. While Nathan struggled to rebuild from scratch, I was thriving. I got promoted. I traveled. I launched a side business. And it took off. For the first time in years, I felt completely free. No more waiting for someone to grow up. No more walking on eggshells. No more Pia. Playing a game where the only way to win was to leave the table entirely. Nearly a year later, I got a message request on social media. I almost ignored it. Then I saw the name, Nathan, Curiosity 1. Nathan, hey, I know it's been a long time. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, I screwed up. I should have treated you better. I don't expect anything. I just wanted you to know. I stared at the message for a moment. Then I deleted it. Unanswered. Because some apologies come far too late. Nathan had become nothing more than a distant memory, a cautionary tale, a reminder of what I'd never tolerate again. While he was still climbing out of the hole he dug, I was soaring. My career, skyrocketing, my business, thriving, my heart, finally full, because I'd found love again. Real love, mature, respectful, honest. Turns out when you remove a financial leech from your life, your bank account flourishes, and so does your peace of mind. I traveled the world. I tried new things. I lived. I didn't need revenge. My success spoke for itself. But life has a funny way of tying up loose ends. It happened at a mutual friend's wedding. I almost didn't go. But something in me knew it would be worth it. And I was right. Because the moment I walked in, I saw him. Nathan. Slouched in a corner, nursing a cheap beer. Gone was the designer. Suit, the styled hair, the smug confidence. In their place, an ill-fitting shirt, tired eyes, and the unmistakable look of regret. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. Then our eyes met, and I saw it. That deep, aching regret that lives in your bones when you realize you traded gold for tin foil. I smiled. Small, polite. Then turned back to the man beside me, my partner. Kind, successful, steady, someone who didn't need to tear me down to feel strong. Nathan watched me move on. Later that night, he approached. "Chrissy," he said, clearing his throat. I turned, calm and disinterested. "Nathan, you look good." "I know," I said simply. He winced. "I guess you heard about everything. My job. Melissa." "Yep." He let out a bitter laugh. "You must be happy about how it all turned out." I tilted my head. "No, Nathan, I don't think about you enough to feel anything at all." He looked crushed. "I'm sorry, Chrissy, for everything. I wish I could take it back." I sighed, swirling the champagne in my glass. "You don't get it, do you?" "Get what?" I smiled. "I never needed your apology, because the moment you left, I was free." I gestured to the beautiful life I had built, the love, the success, the peace. "I have everything I ever wanted, and you, well, you have exactly what you deserve." His jaw clenched, but he said nothing, because deep down, he knew I was right. As I walked away, I felt lighter than I ever had. Nathan was part of my past, nothing more. A mistake, a lesson, a chapter closed. He thought leaving me would be his greatest triumph. But in reality, it was mine. Because I had won the only battle that mattered, to live well, love better, and never settle for less again.